Brian, another win yesterday. What do you make of the performance?
Yeah, okay, and good in spells, and put it in context of where it was, and with it being that third game, yeah, good. You'd say it was good, but there were one or two things in there that we probably dipped on in that we'd been good at in recent weeks. But we're happy. We're not happy with that. It's probably the wrong phrase, but we're less concerned with some of those things, and I'm sure we'll be really focused this week, building into a big game against St Helens. But played a committed team there in Salford yesterday. They were down on troops and down on some very key people as well. Still posed a threat to us and still made it a contest. So credit to them for that.
Is there some wins you just take the 2 points and move on to the next week?
Probably never, really. Yeah, you've always got to analyse and work out why, and then some. After doing that review, you'd probably go, well, that's okay. You might put that one to bed, but at no stages we go, well, that's just a win. Third game in East and move on. So let's move on. We're just going to make sure that we don't ever create any habits or we don't ever create any long-term issues there for us.
I spoke to you after the Wigan game when you won, and you said that you felt there was a little bit of pressure being put on you by St Helens' lead at the top. It's turned completely round now. All of a sudden, it's you that's got the lead at the top. Do you feel that's going to put pressure on them to knock you over on Friday night?
They'll certainly want to do that. We expect a team that will want to take 2 points away from us. Yeah, definitely. The funny, interesting with Saints that I think they've been a good team for a few years. And obviously they've been a very good team for lots of years. But just last year, they had a few games that they went into a game, and I'm looking at the team that they got, and they've got a fair few people missing, and they ended up winning the game and winning convincing. And then they had some ropey periods and had some outstanding periods. So that I think they're a bit of an hard team to read about how good they'll be. And Luke Walsh is back from injury, and they maybe still have one or two missing. And you start to work out what type of team they'll be, and you think, no, I'll tell you what, let's just prepare for a good team. Let's just make this a preparation for a very good Saints team at Langtree Park, and that's probably the simplest and probably the most effective way of dealing with it.
You've got a big set of forwards. Is that where you feel that the game can be won and lost up front?
Yeah, they're very effective pack in their pack. They've got some huge people, some very effective people as well. It's not just about brawn at times. They've got some play in them, and they've got some quick play the ball in them as well. If anything, they're a cohesive team. They play well together.
Having spoken to you and heard you after games, I get the feeling you think there's still a lot more to come from the Rhinos so far this season.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think that's realistic. Yeah, definitely. I think most coaches would say the same as well. I think I still say the same, and I don't think anybody's shot out in front and everybody's trying to catch up. We've had that in the last 3 or 4 years where a team would be, never mind how many points in front of everybody else they are, but their performances. They've been out in front, and everybody's looking at them thinking, we need to be better than what we are because look at them. Well, I don't think anybody's doing that at the moment. And maybe now Easter's over and maybe the ground start getting dry and we maybe start getting a bit of that.
People will be looking at it though and think if you can beat Saints and potentially go 6 points clear at the top, that's an awful lot to claw back, isn't it, in not that much time in the regular season? Yeah,
and then everybody wants to be out in front. All coaches, whether they admit it or not, will want to get out in front and try and get that lead. And then once you do, there's this different set of challenges, to stay out in front and to make sure that you show up every single week and make sure that you have the same amount of desire and have the same intentions as you do when you're chasing the pack. So it's all interesting, isn't it?
It is. Busy Easter period, as you said. How's the squad come through at you? Looking well ahead of Saints?
Well, we've got no new ones, no new injuries, but we're still waiting on a few people coming back. Jimmy Jones could be a couple of weeks. Kyle Uluwai looks like he's going to be about another 3-4 weeks, maybe 5. He's having actually a shoulder up and having a clean out of his shoulder there, so hopefully that's a 4-weeker. The initial news on him was 12 weeks, so there's a boost. We all know about Hawley, that was well documented last week. He'll be I think we'll miss another 3 games with Hawley before he's available. Tom Briscoe's, he's got a longer journey back. I think that's it. I think that. So we're missing a few, but you've got to say the fellas that come in are doing an outstanding job. Ashton Golden again showed up really well at Salford yesterday. Ash Hanley's development continues. He's improving in a good way. Brad Singleton's getting more game time. Liam Sutcliffe's getting more game time. So the fellas who've been coming in, they pull the shirt on for that period of time. Well, some of your more regulars aren't in. Have done a really good job, and that's probably why we're in a reasonable position at the moment.
Obviously, there's players moving on at the end of the season, frees up salary cap space, people in the game, 2 and 2, adds whatever it adds. You've been linked to Gareth Wood this week. What's the story there?
It's a story, isn't it? It's a story. Sometimes those stories are true, and so then you'd say no comment. And then sometimes those stories aren't true, and what coaches go, no, there's nothing in that. So the only time they say no comment is when it's true. So if I say no comment all the time, whether it's true or not, nobody ever gets a read.
Okay. Is he a player you'd like to have in your squad?
He's an outstanding player. He's an outstanding player, and been playing in the NRL, and as you'd say, his tools are sharpened. So that's not to say he could kill it over here. I think there's been enough examples of players from the NRL coming over here and finding those little changes, those little subtle changes, a problem to start with. But no, he's a great player.